Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
We're back in the year 2024.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, right? Like it seems like it's still like 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's time is meaningless now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just circling the drain, Tom. You know.
Like the world was encased in ice, like a Frozen sequel.
Yeah. Wait, did that happen in the Frozen sequel? Yeah, it did.
Probably.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know what else would
probably.
happen in a Frozen sequel.
I don't know.
She'd go skiing.
Yeah, you're right.
Hello,
That'd be
everyone.
skiing, yeah. Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast.
It's the show where we get hyped about stuff and things 2024. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm the other one, David Bell, 2024 version.
That's right.
New and improved.
The future Dave.
Yeah. Future
2024 is officially the future. We can start saying we're living in the future.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, who ever thought the year 2024 would happen?
What's the Back to the Future years? Wasn't that 2015?
Oh yeah, we've blown by Back to the Future
but
too, Dave.
That is the year where I'm like, that's the future officially. So we've been in it for a while. What movies take place in 2024? Movies
Probably a lot.
that take place in 2024. Google knows. I don't give a shit. Ooh, the 13th floor, Tom. The 13th floor. We're finally there.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're in the year that the 13th floor took place. That's pretty cool. Apparently so did Lake Placid Legacy, which wasn't made this year. Why is it?
Why would Lake Placid Legacy? Well,
it was made in 2018. What the fuck?
Why would you need to flash forward 6 years?
I don't know. Why?
I guess we have to watch that.
Know.
I guess we have to watch Lake Placid.
Shit.
What is it called?
Lake Placid Legacy.
Yeah, I guess we gotta watch it.
You know what else takes place in 2024?
No.
Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Yeah, it does.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's all we needed.
Today I'm starting my project where I'm going to watch Highlander 2 every day of 2024.
Yep. Of course.
And see how it compares to my day-to-day life.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, how was your holiday?
It was great, Dave. It was great.
You see any movies?
No.
Not a single one?
I didn't watch a fucking thing.
That's amazing. I'll tell you, because we did a year-end.
We did.
If you recall. I have a movie that I would have added to that. And might have even made, maybe not top 5, but it would have been on my top 10. And I watched it on an airplane. That movie's called Theater Camp. I finally watched Theater Camp. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
That's all I have to say about that.
I haven't gotten to any of my movies yet. I didn't watch anything.
Yeah. So I haven't watched Past Lives. I also watched the new Haunted Mansion.
Sure.
On a plane as well. I should note that I was on mushrooms, and that was fun. The new Haunted Mansion. Who's in that? It's
Lakeith Stanfield, Danny DeVito.
Lakeith Stanfield. He is
Owen
playing
Wilson.
it real. Lakeith Stanfield is playing it real weird, and he's a delight. some like good dynamics because he's playing it like Keith Stanfield is playing it like he's almost like just bored with the movie, and I loved it.
Yeah, he always does. He always makes interesting choices. So
yeah, and I just need to finally say I also watched Asteroid City, also on mushrooms, which did not save the movie for me. It was pretty, but that movie's got very little going on.
That's a real divisive movie.
It is. It's trying to be very artistic. Like it's like weird and meta. It's very pretty. It looks great. Again, especially on mushrooms, but I just didn't get much out of it. It was sort of an ending where I went, okay, and why did I watch this? All right, thanks, I guess. That's my review. So
thanks, I guess.
Yeah, it was like cool. That was fine.
Perfect review.
Fine. It was fine. Yeah, you should watch those movies, and then in a Hypecast down the line, you can give quick reviews as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What else is new? Anything else new?
No, nothing at all.
All right, that's fair. We don't have a guest, by the way.
We
folks.
don't.
I don't know if
You might have noticed that there's not a third voice.
We're just we just didn't fucking feel like it.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, we didn't.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back from the break. The holidays are tough. Yeah. Nobody wants to do anything, so it's just me and Dave.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we didn't even try. For people, like, just so people know, it's not that we're not cool and that nobody likes us. We didn't try. We didn't ask anybody because we didn't fucking want to. Like we're just like you said, holidays. So
yeah,
it's cool.
It's an easy show back. That's all. We'll be back with guests next week.
We don't even have we have trailers, but like most of these trailers are like fucking whatever, man. Like they're not bad. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad.
Hypecast 2024, fucking whatever, man.
But there's nothing huge from this list. I don't know. It's so that's the episode. Should we take trailers? Should we take producers?
Sure.
All right. Hold on, let me open the doc with the producers on it.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah. Big 2024. Thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to A Bag Full of Bags.
Thank you.
Thank you to Eric Mercer. Thank you to AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you to Andrew. Follow me on OnlyFans at Andrew Howe loves Andrew McGuire Howe.
Thank you.
Can do. Thank you to Andrew McGuire. Thinks Andrew Howe is a swell guy.
Hey, thank you.
You gotta get these two together. Thank you to Asking Seven.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Thank you to Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brockway loves the meat millie.
Thank you.
Thank you to Burrito wants you to drink water, hit the gym, and do the ska, because he loves y'all.
Pick it up.
Thank you to Buy TikTok Superstars, Jason Pargin's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, out now wherever books are sold.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chi Esther's Prophet.
Thank you.
And thank you to Christopher Robert Sparts, Esquire.
Thank you.
All right, Dave.
I went to
Dave.
I went to a Barnes and Noble, Tom, and I saw Jason's book in it.
Oh, yeah?
It was wild. It was fucking wild.
Did you buy it?
What were you going to say?
Did you buy it?
No, I already have it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're just there. They just have them on bookstore shelves. It's weird.
It's weird, yeah.
With a name on it and everything.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Let's talk about some trailers.
Yeah. This just dropped today, this morning, when we're recording this, that is. The first Omen. They've been threatening to make this for a while. We've been hearing about a new Omen.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we're on the same page, every Omen sequel has been bad, right? Every single one. I watched 2 of them recently.
I don't know if I've ever seen the sequels.
They're not.
I may have seen part of the one with Sam Neill in it as grown up Damien.
That's the one I've seen the least. So I had watched 4, which is the one after Sam Neill. I watched that as a kid a lot, and I remember it being very good. And then I watched it recently and was like, oh, whoops. Nope, not good at all. Very bad. And I watched Omen 2, and they're both boring. They're just real boring.
That's a shame.
Omen 4 has a man getting hit by a fucking construction ball. What am I thinking?
A wrecking
Demolition
ball.
Wrecking ball. Jesus Christ, dude.
Like the Miley Cyrus song.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
But did you like the remake?
I thought the remake was fine. It's unnecessary, but
the remake was probably the best continuation since the original. And it's not great.
No, it's not.
I like the casting.
Yeah. It's basically just recasting the original movie. It's
Liev Schreiber, great Gregory Peck.
sure.
Don't get me wrong.
David Thewlis, good. Good David Warner.
Yes.
It's okay. It's one of those remakes where I'm like, why did you make this? Like, it's so close to the original. It's really just it's like watching like another, like a revival of a Broadway show where it's the same show just with a different cast.
Right, except they crammed in jump scares.
They sure did
in the remake. That's the thing about the first Omen. It's kind of Final Destination.
It
which
is.
People forget.
Yeah, it's Final Destination with the devil.
Yeah, and then it's also kind of just about atmosphere and like the general creepiness, and of course the soundtrack. This is all to say that this trailer looks good. What do you think?
I think this is a good trailer. It does a cool thing where the entire trailer is in reverse, and that's a really fucking cool idea. Yes,
and it implies that there's some very strong choices going to be made making the movie, which I think is very necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's the director is not someone I had ever heard of. Arcacia Stevenson. They've done episodes of Legion. They did a short called Vessels.
I don't know this person.
I know. Briar Patch, another TV. They've done a lot of
I remember
TV.
we covered Briar Patch on Hypecast, but I haven't watched it. That's I think that's the Rosario Dawson show, right?
Okay. This is all to say that like they might as well have done nothing because I've never seen their shorts. And like TV directing, I feel like is a little. I don't know how involved they were. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this, I don't know. It from what imagery we get and the reverse stuff, it feels like they have the right idea for what the vibe of this should be. But it's all kind of, we kind of need more information.
Yeah. Also,
he's in there.
Yeah, he's
Ralph
sure.
Ineson.
That's true. Yeah.
They stick him in all sorts of anything. It's like old timey or creepy.
Anytime you need a creepy dude with a British voice, then throw him in there. He's that guy for the next 10 years.
Oh yeah, he's been in so much period horror now.
Yeah,
like I've noticed that they just toss him in every period horror film.
Yeah, he's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
I have still aftershocks from the latest Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pessimistic on a new Omen movie. I mean, it's not a reboot, but I mean, it's a prequel, so it's like almost just as bad. So
yeah,
just conceptually, I'm not excited about this movie. The only thing I have to say is the trailer is good. It's a good trailer.
It's a very good trailer, which I just think that's the best thing they could do.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is I'm with you where it's like the Omen is one of those stories where it's kind of it doesn't really need a sequel. Like
it doesn't.
The Damien sequels were bad because it's just like we already told the story. It was a very simple story, and everything. It's like kind of the ending of The Matrix, where it's like the point is to not show what happens next. It's to imagine what happens next,
Yeah,
right?
that's kind of the part of the power of the ending is requiring the audience to imagine what happens next.
Yeah. And it seems like much like the Exorcist ones where they have to just if they just do like, okay, it's a new exorcism, then that just to me makes the devil look like an idiot, where it's like, oh, they just keep trying and failing.
Yeah,
like if it's like, oh, it's a new son of the devil, and this doesn't work out, and it's like,
well, I mean, it's already stupid as hell, right? It's like the devil's going to possess one random kid in one random family in Washington D.C., like of all places, of all times, like it's already kind of like, okay. So like,
Right.
so the idea that it's happening multiple times is like,
I think,
what the fuck are we doing?
Right. And so, like, I guess I have a question, and I
Sure.
bet there's an answer, like a valid answer. Are there many, or can you think of any very good horror sequels that aren't just fun or silly? Meaning that, like, Friday the 13th, we love the sequels because they're dumb. Halloween, we love the sequels because they're silly or campy, or they just Halloween 3, they just tell a new story. Are there any sequels that are like, wow, this was also scary and good and added to it? I would say Ouija 2, but that's only because that was a unique circumstance, right?
Yeah, but it still counts, but it also was a prequel.
You're right.
So there could, I mean, if it's just the variable there, the X factor there was it was a good filmmaker. It was Mike Flanagan. So like, if this is a good filmmaker that's making the first Omen, maybe it's going to be another Ouija Origin of Evil, which by all rights should have been a terrible ass movie, but it's fucking good.
That's my hope here. It occurs to me that the only other one I could think of is Dr. Sleep, which is, again, Mike Flanagan.
Yep.
It's very rare, it feels like, to have a horror movie that then makes a sequel that is also scary and, like, serious. I like, again, like Evil Dead 2, again, it's over the top. Is there, like, I guess people could say The Conjuring 2, but come on.
Conjuring 2 is
Go
bad.
watch The Conjuring. It's bad. Yeah, or Insidious 2, but those are all kind of the same thing over and over again. So I would argue that if
I'm really struggling. I can't pull one right now.
Right.
I mean, I would argue that the Friday ones are significant because they created Jason, but like they're not scarier than the first one is.
Exactly. Like the only way it seems like to successfully do it is to just go silly. Or to go
The Exorcist 3, because it has the jump scare.
Has that one moment. But the movie itself isn't particularly, like, I don't remember that movie. I just remember that jump scare.
Yeah.
But it's all to say that they are even if there are some, there's not that many. It just fundamentally isn't like a thing. Which,
right. No, you're right.
I think it's because part of the horror of a horror movie is the surprise.
Exactly.
The first time around.
Right. And that was the thing we talked about before, where invariably what ends up happening is they start hammering out the lore and the origin of like the monster or demon or ghoul or whatever it is, which the only thing that serves to do is make it less scary.
Right. It's interesting to me because, like, you can have a million action scenes. You can have 4 John Wicks and every single one of them's entertaining, even though intellectually we know this is stupid, right? Like, why does this keep happening to poor John Wick? Whereas in horror movies, it feels harder for us to, like, pretend to be like, let's just pretend the first one.
It's a different type of entertainment, right? Like
it is.
The entertainment of action is a choreography, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least in a John Wick movie.
Right.
And like you said, horror is about surprise. So when you start making more sequels about the same thing and you start telling us all about its nature, it becomes less, there's no more surprises. So we're not, it's all you can do is jump scares at that point.
Right. That is really it. So I don't know, man. I hope they find a good story to tell with this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the only thing I have to say about it is that's a good trailer.
All right.
I like the Omen.
Move on. The Omen's one of my favorite horror
the Omen
movies. The original,
rocks, dude. It's great.
Up on it.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And so, like, this trailer, check out the trailer. The trailer is pretty sweet.
It's good.
I really hope the movie is good because I would love another Omen, like a good one.
Sure.
I'd love that.
Sure. Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't envy this person's task.
Well, I haven't heard anything about this. This trailer sort of came out of nowhere for me, so that's not great. But again, it's a very good trailer.
It is. Let's talk about Lift.
Let's do it.
Is this seriously called Lift?
It is.
Why? Why is it called Lift?
That's the title they all decided on before they went to lunch.
Yeah, you're right. It's not. It's more just like nothing about this trailer made me think Lift, and it's one of those Oh, they mean lift like pickpocket, like you lift something.
Don't
they?
They mean both. Like Kevin Hart. It's a Kevin Hart heist movie that's premiering on Netflix next week.
On a plane.
On a plane, and he says, "Okay, lift," when they increase the altitude of the plane in the trailer. So they put the line in the trailer. But yes, it's also, like you said, it's a pickpocket.
Yeah, I got notes about the title alone because I think this is going to be in a year from now. You'll see the word lift and go like, "What was that movie? Like, was it an elevator movie? Like, it's just not." You need like. If
oh yeah, this is going to be a bar trivia question in 10 years for sure.
Right. So what do we know about heists? They're about money, right? Right. So
usually,
what if we? Right. So and then this takes place on a plane. So why not just money plane, Tom? See? That's a movie.
But they made that movie already, and it's a masterpiece.
They should keep making it. Anyway, Kevin Hart, Netflix action. I feel like people without looking already know exactly what this trailer looks like.
Yeah. It's another, we have a bit in the notes here where we both kind of landed on the same thing, where it's got that sort of Netflix blockbuster sheen to it. Which is hard to describe, but you probably know what I'm talking about if you've watched a lot of these on Netflix. Just the general way they look and they're lit and are shot. They all sort of look the same, and it's kind of, in my opinion, become like a visual shorthand for what a big movie, quote unquote, like a blockbuster looks like now. Sort of in the same way that like they would throw the record scratch noise into a trailer to let you know it was a comedy. Like, I bet you're wondering how I got here. And it's also like the director of the 2003 Italian Job remake. So it just has this real milquetoast blockbuster, like early aughts, 4-quadrant blockbuster, PG-13 blockbuster look to it that is just the boringest, most forgettable. Like there's no fingerprints on this there's no fingerprints of any artist whatsoever on any of these movies. So they just sort of look like just really glossy candy, I guess. It's glossy junk food.
It's bright colors.
Yeah.
It's that bright Netflix look with the slight blue tint. It really does feel like we've relapsed to early 2000s blockbusters. Like this looks like I Spy, you know, it has that same aesthetic where it's like the technology is like shiny, shiny and gray, and it looks like everything's a cartoon almost. Like there's not a smudge on anything. It doesn't look like real life. And the camera's like zooming around through it in unrealistic ways. It's sad because like I would argue there are good movies that have this aesthetic.
Sure.
I think that Bullet Train was a lot of fun. That was a fun movie.
Yeah, that was okay.
But they all, like you're saying, they all kind of bleed together. And like this movie, it's like there's nothing. It feels like it's just part of some broader design for them to say, like, we put out. We like it feels like they're all like shooting on the same sets and cameras, and they're just like mass producing these movies. And they got like Kevin Hart and Ryan Reynolds, and they like sit them down and they go like, okay, so read these lines for this movie, read these lines for this other movie. Like it just feels like it's the most mass produced, like it's made on a conveyor belt.
Exactly. It's
version of movies.
It's twofold because it's not just the look, it's that also every big movie, quote unquote, every blockbuster now is an action comedy.
Yes.
Like all the Marvel movies, they have the same little snarky Marvel tone. And every big 4-quadrant blockbuster released in the past 10 years, for the most part, has tried to copy that same tone with varying degrees of success. But the end result is that what you said, they all bleed together for the most part. And
they're all like about a fucking heist. That's the other thing. Like I feel like there's like, it feels like there's 10 of these. Cause again, they love like crime comedy. It's just like, I don't know, maybe not. They all are like, it just feels like they're doing like spies and heists a lot. Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's a good, because they're rogues, right? So it's a good vehicle for action comedy.
For sure. And so like the plots bleed together, you know?
Right. Like what was that called? Red Notice?
Fuck.
The Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot movie from last year.
I mean, I believe you.
And then like the Gray Man. It's like the same 6 actors making the same movies for Netflix. They all bleed together.
It feels like
this
a
one has
grift.
Kevin Hart in it.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't even talked about what the movie's about because who gives a shit?
It's just he's putting together a team of people we don't recognize and Billy Magnuson to steal a plane full of money. I mean, it looks like in a vacuum, it looks fine enough.
Fine.
Like I would watch this movie. It has people I like in it. It looks fun enough. It looks low stakes. Like nobody's going to get hurt in this movie. It's just going to be a fun little action comedy. It's just outside of a vacuum. There's so many of these released by Netflix specifically too, that it's hard to parse them and it's hard to get interested in them.
Absolutely. Like this, I'm already fucking sick of talking about this movie.
Yeah, we can move
Everybody just close your eyes and picture it. You know exactly what it looks like.
You got it. You nailed it. Nailed it.
Yep. This next one, I guess I'm excited for. It's just a
pretty
teaser.
Pretty into this one. I've been reading about it, but yeah.
Okay. This is Spaceman.
Spaceman.
Yeah. No, Spaceman. It's Spaceman with Adam Sandler. When I heard there was a Spaceman Adam Sandler, I was like, I can't wait for that funny, goofy.
Oh, you thought it was gonna be like Rocket Man with Harlan Williams?
I thought we'd have fucking Rob Schneider as a racist character.
We may yet have Rob Schneider as a racist alien.
But this is like a serious movie about an astronaut.
Yeah.
And it's I can't tell like if it's because it sounds like it's about someone becoming the like it's like
the official plot synopsis is he's an astronaut on a mission. He is suspecting.
Okay, so he is in space.
I think so.
All right.
Well, he's on some kind of mission anyway. Maybe he's on Earth in his spacesuit. But anyway, the synopsis of the movie is that his marriage is in trouble.
Okay.
And he's worried about his marriage, and he starts talking to this alien life form that's stowed away in his craft.
That's awesome. Yeah, because the synopsis is about a guy, an orphaned as a boy and raised in the Czech countryside by his grandparents, overcomes his odds to become the country's first astronaut. And when I read that, I was like, is this a biography about someone? Like, does he not go to space in this? Are the shots we think of him, like, just in his backyard? But that sounds more interesting what you described.
Yeah.
Paul Dano is, I think, the alien.
He's the alien, yeah.
Yeah. Carey Mulligan's there. Adam Sandler. And it's the director directed, I don't know if all of Chernobyl, 5 episodes of Chernobyl.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. They did a lot of music videos. Like they're more of a TV music video director.
No, I know the director. I know who he is. He is Johan Renck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he directed his own music videos, didn't he? Like, wasn't he a musician? Anyway, that might be the case. I'd have to look him up again.
I don't know.
But
this is
fucking
all to say
Chernobyl rocks. So
I'm pretty excited for this, whatever this is. He's doing like a voice, right?
Paul Dano or Adam Sandler?
No, like whoever's. Is it Adam Sandler doing the trailer voice?
No, and the only voice we hear in the trailer is the alien.
Oh, okay, that would explain.
Yeah,
why.
that's Paul Dano.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, this is like, what, 30 seconds, and it's just a shot of
Yeah,
Adam
it's just a brief
Sandler?
teaser, but like, yeah, he's got a pregnant wife back at home, played by Carey Mulligan, who he thinks his marriage is falling apart, and he starts talking to this alien while he's on his mission. Like, that's what I have read about the synopsis of this movie.
What if the alien's an incel? It's just he gets radicalized.
Starts giving him Jordan Peterson YouTube videos to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks good. I can't wait to talk about it more when there's more trailer, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this movie.
Me too.
I like the idea of Adam Sandler doing an interior drama, and I also like that it's sci-fi, like with an alien and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm into
does
this.
seem cool.
Quick redaction: Johan Renck did not direct his own music videos, just for very famous people like Madonna and Robbie Williams and things like that.
And ABBA,
also very famous group.
Yeah.
He is himself Swedish.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyway, we can move on.
Expats. This has got the Mrs.
Nicole
AMC,
Kidman.
the AMC lady. Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, heartbreak feels good when you lose your child in a crowd. This movie...
I was unclear. This trailer felt like it had a lot of noise, and I was like trying to figure out like what the plot was in the noise.
It seems like there's two main characters. There's this younger woman and Nicole Kidman, who is married and has children and is living in Hong Kong, hence the title Expats.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. She has some sort of relationship with the younger woman. I'm not sure what it is. The trailer's a little unclear. But she loses one of her young children in a big crowd outside, and it seems as though the movie takes place over a decently long period of time, not like a decade, but maybe a couple of years.
Yeah,
because it gets to a point where like her husband's like, we need to leave, and she's like, if we leave Hong Kong, we're abandoning our kids. So it seems like the kid's still missing, and they're dealing with that. And then also it's dovetailing. It seems to be dovetailing with a storyline about this younger woman, but the trailer really obscures what her storyline is, just sort of like tells us that she's a character who's present in this story. It doesn't really tell us anything about her. And then there's also
guilty, right?
A little bit, but we're not sure if it's because of she feels guilt about something, but we're not sure if it's because of the kid disappearing. And then there's also a storyline about Nicole Kidman and her husband are very wealthy people, and they have housekeepers. And there's also a storyline with her housekeeper.
Right.
This trailer, I mean, it looks like all the performances look good, and it looks like it's about a lot of really difficult subjects and emotions, but like the trailer is almost too vague. Yeah, the trailer's almost too vague.
Yeah, you're describing it like it's a dream, you know?
Yeah,
where you're like, and then this person's there.
We tend to like we obviously we come down all the time on trailers that give away too much, but like this one is like, I need a little bit more.
Yeah, I need to know what the basic fucking story is.
It's like the basic story. It's like really, it's like really vague. Yeah, you're like you said, dreamlike.
It wasn't just me. Yeah, I think so. My guess is that the kid actually died. And when she says we're abandoning him, she means almost like spiritually.
Right. His spirit's in here and we're leaving it. Yeah, no, I get that too.
Yeah. And I think that woman is guilty because I assume she accidentally killed the kid. But
she's with them in the crowd. She's with them in the crowd when it happens. So maybe she was supposed to be helping watch him or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
It's all to say. It looks puzzle of a trailer.
Good. Yeah, it looks good, but it's on the back of my fucking list right now because I'm like, I'm going to need you to tell me what your movie's about.
Oh,
please.
I mean, yeah, unless this starts getting some buzz, I will almost certainly forget about it, unfortunately.
Right.
Like, there's not enough in the trailer to really tell me what this is going to be.
Yeah. I feel bad because of exactly what you said, which is like a trailer not saying much is often good. But I think for like a horror, that's true. Maybe a comedy, but like a drama, it's like I'm gonna need to know what the story is.
It's definitely easier for a genre film because you just need to kind of get a vibe across for a genre.
Yeah,
film.
For sure. Yeah, this I'm like, just a little more, just explain it a little bit, and then again, it's called Expats, which is also like, I don't know. Oh God damn it!
Could mean anything.
Could
be interpreted any number. I mean, it's people who are living in countries other than where they are citizens.
So the synopsis is a look at the personal and professional lives of a tight-knit group of expatriates living in Hong Kong. So it is, I think, like an anthology. I think it's like Crash, right? It's going to be like a bunch of stories.
Oh.
But they can also say that somehow. You know, I don't know. Still feels unclear from the trailer that it would be that.
Yeah, we can move on.
All right, to Cult Killer. This is a trailer that I absolutely think is hiding something, right?
Oh man,
Antonio Banderas is in one scene.
He's in two. There's a scene. There's the scene where he's talking to. Excuse me. There's a scene where he's talking to Alice Eve. In a cafe where they get all of the dialogue clips from, and then there's also an action scene that he seems to be part of.
Okay, you got the same vibe, right?
Where Antonio Banderas seems to be in this movie very little, and they're trying to milk as much of his performance as they can for the trailer.
If you look at the poster, he's in the front and she's in the back, and I'm like, I'll just say, because this shouldn't. this shouldn't be a spoiler. The first sentence of the synopsis is, when a renowned private investigator is murdered, his protege takes on the case. Gee, I wonder who he's going to play.
Yeah, probably the guy that gets murdered.
Exactly. In like the first 15 minutes. So I bet he's there in flashbacks. But also, like, don't you just get the vibe that this is like, it felt like it was a comedy that they were hiding. There was a it felt like there's something about this trailer or something about this movie that they don't want us to know.
It's cut, and they had to cut very strangely. Like, you can notice, you've probably noticed, listener, if you've watched a trailer and you hear the dialogue, you've probably noticed before where a trailer has clearly truncated dialogue, where what I mean is, like, you hear a character say a line in a trailer and you can tell the line's been shortened, something's been cut out of the line.
Yeah, there's just like two lines
right,
put
just
together.
To get like a line across, right? To get something across. And when you see the finished movie, you're like, oh, okay, there was a little bit more there, but most of this trailer is that. Like, most lines, most dialogue you hear in this trailer, you hear off screen and you hear the cuts in them. The audio, the dialogue that's in this trailer has been very heavily edited in a way that was noticeable to me.
Yes, and that's not, so this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you know what movie famously had trailers like this? Maybe not famously, but famously to me, Fight Club. Fight Club, every trailer you watch for Fight Club, you're like, man, they did not know how to sell this film. There's a trailer where it makes it look like a romantic comedy where Brad Pitt's the funny friend. There's like, all the trailers had different tones because they couldn't figure out what what to say about the movie that get people to see it. That's what this feels like. It feels like it's not exactly this plot, but they couldn't figure out a better way to describe the movie.
Maybe it's just a bad trailer.
It could also just be a bad trailer. It could also be a bad movie. There's so many reasons. It's to say that this doesn't reflect the quality of the movie in any way.
No. And Antonio Banderas Antonio Banderas being in it makes me give it a little more consideration than I probably normally would. But it does feel like a very disposable serial killer thriller.
Yeah.
Any number of those that get made every year.
Yeah, he's been in a couple stinkers too.
He has been.
He'll Liam Neeson it a little bit, where he's just throws himself in a random ass cheap movie. But like, I also just think this looks neat. Like, the trailer is weird, but it's got like I don't know, fun little detective vibes, like a copycat or a
yeah. And I always like a murder mystery.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm definitely into it just because it looks like fun little murder mystery.
Yeah. Also, the title sucks. Cult Killer. What is that?
Cult Killer. Yeah, that sounds like a fucking. Again, that sounds like a joke. Like it's a comedy. The original title was apparently The Last Girl, and that also doesn't tell us anything. It really feels like they were struggling with this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened, but it just feels like they didn't quite figure out this movie, which makes me want to see it. I don't know. All right. Speaking of, God, there's a lot of weird trailers. This next trailer is for Origin. This is Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, Ava DuVernay.
Thank you. It's her film.
It's based on the nonfiction book Cast.
Okay.
The Origin of Our Discontent is, I believe, the subtitle, and that's where Origin comes from.
John Bernthal, you shed some light onto it because this is another one where it was like,
this has been.
What are you about?
Yeah, this is. I've seen similar reactions to it as it's been making its rounds around the festival circuit. It's both. It's apparently both, like, because the book it's based on is nonfiction. It's a academic book almost about the implicit or the unspoken caste system in America that was created to sort of keep black people oppressed. And the movie is, as I understand it, is both an adaptation of that, like, because the book compares America to caste systems in Nazi Germany and one other time period. I forget what it was. But it's comparing it to other caste systems in history. So part of the movie, as I understand it, is adapting that aspect of it. And then also part of it is adapting the real life author of the book, who is the main character of the movie. And it's sort of documenting her writing the book.
Right. It's kind of like an ironic adaptation, the Charlie Kaufman film, where it's like, it feels like that same idea, where it's like adapting the book by talking about the writer.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because the trailer, I feel like they're being very nice about what the pattern is, because the trailer feels like she keeps saying like what is connects all these things, you know. And I'm watching. I'm like, it's white people.
It's white supremacy.
Yeah, it's white supremacy. But
supremacy.
It's just like I applaud the movie for not for like pretending to do the work where they're like, what is it? What could it be? And I'm like, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's the honkies. It's those honkies.
Mm-hmm.
This looks awesome. It's a very difficult trailer for this reason, where you're watching and you're like, this feels like it's about everything. Like,
I can't. This was probably a seemingly impossible book to adapt, because it's not, like I said, it's a nonfiction book. It's not a narrative.
Right,
like it is an analytical like book about, like, a sociological book about American history. Like,
this isn't the Da Vinci Code.
No,
meaning that, like, I don't think Hollywood was going around being like, who do we get to make this?
Yeah,
I think she came to them and said, I wrote this script based on it. Like, this feels like something where it wouldn't have been adapted if she didn't.
Oh, yeah, right. She has Ava DuVernay has enough. She gets to pick her projects. So, like, this is. I think the author has won a Pulitzer Prize. I apologize. I forget her name. So, like, she absolutely
Isabella Wilkerson, I assume, because that's the co-writer.
Yes. So yeah, I'm sure she just was like, I'm going to adapt this book, and I think it's Netflix was like, yep, you are.
Yeah, do it. But just put Big Oprah.
I think it's Netflix.
Just want Big Oprah.
Put a giant Oprah in it.
For people who don't know, that's the best part of Wrinkle in Time.
Best part of Wrinkle in Time was a
big
giant Oprah. Yeah, just a big Oprah.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
In a suburban backyard.
Yeah.
Like kaiju Oprah, kaiju-sized Oprah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when we say Big Oprah, we
mean Big Oprah.
Yeah.
We mean colossal Oprah.
Yeah. Like a Lord of the Rings character.
Yeah. But no, this looks very good. I'm double checking to see if I was right about. Oh no, Netflix was totally wrong. It's not a Netflix movie. I apologize. Limited release by Neon, and it's going to be a wide release this month.
Okay, I love poor Nick Offerman, where like he's, I believe, a pretty liberal guy.
He is.
But whenever they need whenever they need like a hick type, they grab him and they're like,
"Oh yeah,
get in there,
he's
Nick."
fully in a MAGA hat in this."
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, he has MAGA face. He knows he does.
He has MAGA face. Yeah, exactly.
And he knows he does. He's made it work for him.
Yeah, I bet this is a really good movie that's going to be extremely annoying in general on social media and all the discourse around it. It is going to be exhausting. The Rotten Tomatoes is going to be exhausting. All the coverage, everything's going to be exhausting, right? About this fucking
Ben
movie.
Shapiro's going to shit his pants over
Just
all of
because
his
of
ilk.
Yeah, exactly. And it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
And I don't just mean the right
regardless of the quality of the film.
Exactly. I don't even mean just from right wing. I think just it'll be exhausting in general to talk about. So like I'm probably, hopefully, just gonna watch it quietly. And that's that. And disengage with everything else. Because like that Don't Look Up movie, I don't know if that movie was good because the online, I never saw it.
I did.
Everything about it, okay. Well, everything about it was exhausting. And I was just like, I'm not.
The movie itself was exhausting. Think of 2 hours of the most obvious satire.
Right. Oh, yeah. I saw that Obama movie. I just, it's similar. I saw that. That was weird.
I forget what it was called. Shit.
Leave the World Behind.
There it is.
Very weird movie.
Sweet.
Oddly cynical, which kind of made me be like, Obama, what's going on here? Are you okay? But also
he's sick of us. He's sick of all of us.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to
It
tell
was
you.
kind of weird.
I've had it with you.
It was a weird
I've had it with
movie.
all of you.
But see it, Tom, because I want to talk to someone about it because it was.
No, I wanted to
weird.
watch. Yeah, it's on my list. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's on the Netflix.
It's on the net. That one is on the Netflix.
Yeah.
Not Origin,
Anything
though.
else
You'll have
about-
to watch Origin in a theater or rent it.
Oh, okay.
No, it looks good. I want to see it.
Let's talk about Love Lies Bleeding with these fucking dirt bags.
Hell
so
yeah.
many dirt bags in this.
So many glorious dirtbags in this movie. It's Kristen Stewart and a bunch of other actors that I don't recognize, apart from Ed Harris. Ed Harris in a glorious, Edgar Winter skullet.
He looks like the gritty remake of the Greasy Strangler.
Yes.
This has Napoleon Dynamite / Greasy Strangler, but gritty aesthetic. If that makes sense, not comedy, but they all look like that level of throwback dirtbag.
Well, there's a comedic bent to this trailer. It's a lot of oddballs.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of an impish tone to the trailer. Not outright comedic, but there's a bit of a cheekiness to the trailer, but it is pretty gritty. Yeah.
It's the director of Saint Maud.
I still haven't seen that.
I still haven't. I'm gonna watch it soon because I've heard good things about it. This looks good. I mean, Kristen Stewart, she's one of the few actresses left that if she's in something, I'm usually like, oh, I bet that's really good. Kind of like Elijah Wood, where it's I know that's going to be good and weird.
Right, I know if you picked it, it's going to be weird in some way that's appealing.
Yeah. And so that alone, I'm like, I got to see this.
Yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah. It's appears to be about a woman who falls in love with a bodybuilder, and they do crimes together.
Yeah, and ladies. Also her dad is Ed Harris, who's this kingpin hitman type character, and they get in bad with him or something. They end up doing a hit for him, and it goes bad or something, and now they're on it's a crime movie. Yeah. With Kristen Stewart
Skullet
and Ed Harris with a glorious skullet.
Yeah, Dave Franco's there apparently.
Oh yeah. He's the slimy guy with the sunglasses in the trailer.
Yeah. It looks, I don't know, it looks pretty fun, even though it might not actually be fun.
Yeah, it could go the way of Atomic Blonde, which I did enjoy, but was kind of it just wasn't great. It wasn't as cool as it should have been. So there was a lot of John Wick pretenders right after John Wick came out, and this doesn't look like that, to be clear. It's just sort of shot in a similar way that Atomic Blonde was shot. So I guess that's why I'm making the connection.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But no, this movie looks good.
It does. This next one, so the last three movies on this list were ones that I was like, oh, this could be a more hype film, but I didn't quite love them, so I just threw them in here. Does that make sense?
Fair.
This one is Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. What'd you think of whatever this is?
Twee the right one in.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't put it as my more hype, where it feels looks, very twee.
It looks okay. I like the fact that it's an international movie, like a foreign film, or because I'm always into watching comedies. From other countries, because comedy's different. It's one of those things that's based on culture and stuff. So I'm always interested in watching that. But it does feel like well-trod territory at this point, especially with what we do in the shadows, already in its fifth season and coming to an end on FX. And the idea of comedy vampires has been pretty solid for the past decade. So it's another one.
It's like zombie anything.
Exactly.
It's we have it.
It's becoming funny. Vampires are becoming zombies for me.
Right. Also, the title is very twee. It also describes, if people are wondering what it's about, it's exactly that. It's about a vampire who feels bad killing people.
Yeah, she doesn't want to eat
looks
people.
For a suicidal person. It also feels like, do you agree with me where it's like, I think I know this entire film. They're going to both learn to love life together, fall in love. She'll turn him into a vampire, and they'll learn to be vampires together. Like, that's what it feels like, right?
Maybe.
Like, the suicidal person won't be, it's not going to end with her killing him. Like, I don't think it'll end with her eating this guy. That's the most boring, most predictable version, right? Is like movies always have a twist. So the twist will be that she does not kill this guy. One assumes. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe he kills her.
I don't know. Maybe.
But,
You would think, like, I don't know, how they would change is he would learn to love life and she would lose some respect for it, right? Because that's the only direction their characters can go.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I don't know what this movie's about. I don't know what they want to do with it. I mean, it looks funny enough. It's just, like I said, it's just sort of, I'm a little over funny vampires at the moment. Nothing against this film.
100%.
I'll probably still watch this movie.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but it is, it's not my favorite. My favorite is the next trailer. This is the goat.
Man.
This is French?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. They sure sounded French.
It's a historical, loosely based off a true story about a lawyer defending a goat.
Yep, defending a goat in court.
And it's like broad comedy, but French. It's like Broken Lizard comedy. It's like Super Troopers style, but it's French, which I think is delightful because when I think French, I
it's
just
a period
automatically...
piece.
Right. French to me is like dignified, right? It's the person that the pie goes in the face of.
Right.
Yeah. And so to see
10 banana cream pies.
Right. I know this is very stupid of me, but I'm just delighted by seeing French people be like wacky. And I'm like, look at them go. It's a goat movie. What the fuck is this? I can't wait.
It looks really funny.
It does.
Like it's the
fun.
premise is this lawyer who just desperately needs a win. So he gets this poor farm girl who comes to him. It's like, nobody else will represent me. My little sister, I think she calls her. She's on trial for, I forget what the crime is, and she hands him a drawing, and it's a drawing of a little girl tending a goat, and he misunderstands and thinks it's a little girl. And he's like, well, how old is she? It's just 11. So he thinks he's defending an 11-year-old girl. And he's like, oh, this is a slam dunk. Like, no, I'm obviously going to get a win here. Nobody's going to convict an 11-year-old girl. And then he sees it's a goat. Record scratch.
Oh, I bet this is a real piece of shit.
His client is a goat.
That's the thing. If this was
like a Rob Schneider movie.
Film, yeah, if this was like a broad comedy or rather like a big budget comedy, I have zero interest in it. The fact that it's like an indie French film about a guy defending a goat, I'm just like, absolutely. Yes,
and it's a period piece. Like it's old timey wigs and French court and shit.
Yeah, you can barely find this movie online.
Maximum silliness.
It's not on IMDb, but if you Google "this is the goat!" ! You'll get the film.
I love that you brought a movie that no one can find.
I know, but now they can.
Let's move on.
That's all right. This is the goat. This one is getting some buzz. This is Destroy All Neighbors. I mean, just the fucking. This was a real big contender for more hype, but I think it's going to get a good amount of hype. It also has a lot of people in it. It has Alex Winter. Alex Winter bringing back his Freaked? His Freaked.
I think that's Freaked is what it's called, right? Yep, Freaked.
Yeah. It's the same vibe as Freaked.
It's Jonah Ray Rodriguez.
Yeah, Thomas Lennon, Camille Nanjiani is in there.
Yep.
I think Jonah Hill is the fucking
Jonah Rodriguez.
Right, sorry.
Jonah Hill.
He's the main guy.
Yes,
and then I think like Camille's clearly a cameo. Thomas Lennon seems like he's in it a lot. Alex Winter seems like he's in it. It looks like it's. I'm trying to describe the aesthetic. It's gore aesthetic, right? It's like puppet gore. And it's not horror, but it's like. It's obviously has horror vibes.
It's trauma. It's a trauma vibe.
Yeah, it's like polished trauma.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to become a thing. I think the Toxic Avenger might get people to start doing more trauma style stuff, but I could be wrong there. And it looks, I don't know, this looks fun.
Yeah, no, I'm into it. I like Jonah Rodriguez. I like his version of MST3K. I like these kinds of movies. Like, I'm generally a Troma fan. I'm not super into everything Troma does.
Oh no! And again, this isn't a Troma film. It's
No. It's just clearly at least inspired by at least the aesthetic, like you said.
Yeah, it's about a musician who accidentally kills his neighbor, who seems to come alive as some sort of zombie.
Yeah,
that's all we can tell.
Using him and his reanimated body parts as his band, basically, because he's trying to record his album that everyone is telling him is terrible.
Right.
It looks fun. It looks fun. It looks like a classic. Well, not a classic, but like a bit of like, I'm trying to think of a kind of like Arsenic and Old Lace, like a farcical almost horror movie where it's like, it's a bit about like hiding the bodies and hiding the crimes that you've committed.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, it really does look like it could have been a Guar movie.
Yeah.
Like Guar would have been the band that he made or something like that. It's just got that, like gore puppet, look to it. It doesn't mean, like, it's one of those aesthetics where it's like, that doesn't mean a movie will be good, but it's definitely still like, and we're getting more of it. Like, I feel like the indie horror, we're getting more and more of this look, like the Psycho Gorman look, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like we'll get a little oversaturated with it at some point. But right now, I'm still delighted by it. And again, a little vibe of like Freaked, of like...
it's a punk rock vibe.
Yeah, it's like Freaked is not... Like, it's not the same as Troma, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the more kid-friendly gross.
It's a little sillier.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all to say that it's very unique, and I feel like people will sort of know. It's also got Demorge Brown, so that's cool. So I don't know. It's got a lot of good talent in it, and it looks kind of fun. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I like the throwback in the name too. Destroy all monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can move on.
All right, that's it for trailers. Let's thank some more producers.
Let's do it.
Big ol' thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
Thank you to Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Thank you.
Thank you to Deborah's awesome. Barbara's great and cancer can go to hell.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Driftless and his elephant army. Demand you watch Lair of the White Worm.
Do it.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terresticle.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Thank you.
Thank you to Funky J Mostly Comes Out at Night Mostly.
Thank you.
Thank you to Happy Holidays from the Ghost of Dave Andrew Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Thank you, ImpossibleWorlds.net. Issue 3 is out now. Gorge yourself on our fiction. Gorge.
Thank you.
Thank you to Jay the Crow Baron says, build a guillotine in rich people's yard, 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris Shanovich. Thank you to Look Mom on a podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mabel. Step on me. Step on me.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick. Chill.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mercurial Oz.
Thank
you to Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
And thank you to Mongolian Throat Skanking.
Oh, yeah.
Pick it up, pick it up.
Pick it up. Stories, news stories.
News stories, Dave.
The big one, and I didn't include any trailers because I'm already sick of this. Steamboat Willie is now public domain, so there's like at least 2 Steamboat Willie horror movies coming out.
Sure.
It's fine.
Just like
I get it.
Winnie the Pooh horseshit, the blood and honey thing.
Yeah. I get the satisfaction, but it's like my least favorite version of sticking it to corporations, I guess. Like, I saw when it went public domain, people were like posting all these pictures of Steamboat Willie on Twitter, and I'm like, I think you could still
already do that. Yeah. Like, the thing is everybody's making the same thing.
Right.
Like, there's a million Mickey doing 9/11s. There's a million Nazi Mickey shits.
Right. And again, it's like you could still do that stuff. I know Disney can sue people and will. And that's why I get why people are more satisfied by it. But I don't care about Steamboat Willie. I don't know, man. If it was like Jack Sparrow, if by some like weird legal loophole it was Jack Sparrow, I think that would be hilarious, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. It's fine. Whatever. I get it because he's Mickey Mouse. It's Mickey Mouse, but it's just called something else.
Yeah. It's the fact that you put it in here as immediately triggering several horror films. It's just like,
yeah,
it's bums me out of how lazy
everybody got the same idea. Like, wouldn't it be great if we made a horror film? And it's like, yeah,
it's like we all have the same fucking idea. Really, like that's the best you can come up with is the same three things. And like the Nazi stuff isn't even jokes. That's just Nazis being like, hey, Mickey.
Oh yeah, it's more just that. It more speaks to the fact that there's just nothing interesting about Steamboat Willie, where it's like, yeah, those are the ideas.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nothing cartoon. It's a mouse driving a boat.
Yeah,
like we can do whatever we want with them. Like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you could already do it with parody.
Yeah, right. Like you already that's the funniest thing is this stuff like Photoshops of Steamboat Willie crashing into the Twin Towers. That you could make that already. Like you didn't.
Yeah, you could have posted
this
that
image
Twitter.
already exists. I guarantee you. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah. I don't know. Again, like I don't want to.
These would be the
mad
most
at people having fun. It didn't
boring
do
people during the purge. I swear. I'm not gonna pay for this candy bar.
No.
Oof.
Oh, see that's what I would. That's actually how I'd spend the purge though.
Yeah.
Because like, what else am I gonna do? I guess I tried to do like money crimes. I guess. Oh, a money plane. I do a money plane.
You do a money plane during the purge. That's what you do, Dave. You put Steamboat Willie on a money plane. Now he's Money Plane Willie.
Oh man,
Money Plane
yeah,
Willie.
I don't know. This is all to say, like, I don't know what I do that's creative with Steamboat Willie. That's why I'm just like, there's nothing to do. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. Like that's the thing. This changes nothing to me. Where it's like, nobody needs us. You know, like
it's just funny.
It's like I could actually see like Winnie the Pooh movies come out. That might be a good take on Winnie the Pooh. You know what I mean? Steamboat Willie. It's just like, all right, we'll put it on the shelf. We don't need Steamboat Willie, so
yeah. I don't know. It's just It's just funny to me.
Yeah.
100 years of a legal gag on people using this character is lifted.
Yeah.
And this is,
but there's just nothing to do with it.
Right. This is the limit of the expression around that character. Is,
but again,
what
I
if
think
he did 9/11?
Right. Because again, there's nothing to him. Like Wizard of Oz. If we got Wizard of Oz, like something with an actual plot. Steamboat Willie.
We will get Wizard of Oz pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
Like that book is bound to be public domain shortly, if not already.
It's gotta be, right? And then we might get some good stuff from it. But like Steamboat Willie, he pilots, he captains the boat. He whistles, right? And that's it? That's the cartoon?
Yeah, probably.
Does anything
Pete's
else happen?
there. I don't really... Pete, from... you remember Goof Troop?
No, I don't.
Pete's the big mean dog that always fucks with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Goof! That guy.
Oh, Pete's there. Got it.
Pete's there.
Is he public domain now?
Probably.
Cool. Make a Pete horror movie.
Yeah, do it.
Fuck it.
Cowards.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
Let's move on.
Speaking of cartoon stuff, Coyote versus Acme is now like they have like images released and they're saying it's going to come out in 2024, which implies at least that there's some sort of deal. Someone bought it.
This is my limited understanding is the fact that they've said see you in 2024 and they released a still from the film means that somebody else has the distribution rights.
Yeah, this is spiteful, but for me it's not enough that the movie comes out. I feel like Warner Brothers needs to be punished. Well, all right. So I guess if Warner Brothers sold it to someone else and then it does Avatar money, that would be good, right? Because that means Warner Brothers gets punished. Essentially, they sell it to someone else, and that person makes all the money they could have made.
I do know that at least one representative has put forth legislation looking to curtail this practice of killing fully produced movies for a tax break, and they likened it to burning down your house for insurance money, which I agree with. Honestly,
it's tax fraud. Yes, they're committing
tax fraud. Yeah.
And they're doing
you can't take a write-off
publicly.
on money you spent just because you think the investment's not going to pay off. That's not fucking fair. I don't get to do that. I don't get to invest $20,000 or however much into some cockamamie project and halfway through be like, I don't think this is going to make my money back. I'd like to kill this and get a tax refund.
Wait, Tom, can we?
Can
we make podcasts?
Man,
and
maybe
not put
we
them out?
can, Dave.
Yeah, can we make
Dave,
podcasts?
can
not
we
put them out
commit tax fraud?
and like write off like the expenses?
Like just
Maybe.
invent shows and kill them?
Yeah, and like put really like buy really expensive things for the show specifically.
Can we, the producers, our way through this?
Maybe. We can still make the podcast we make now. We can just make fake ones.
Right, we'll just invent podcasts that we're never going to make.
All right. Well, we'll look into that, but we'll ask the accountant. But right for now, yeah, I'm glad this movie's getting fucking seen because it also just looks good. But also just fuck them. I don't know. I at this point, I'm with Warner Brothers again. Like I feel bitter where I'm like, it's not enough that we win.
Oh
They
yeah,
have to lose.
the David Zaslav is a scumbag piece of shit.
Yeah, I need I need them.
Like everything they've done as a studio and company over the past year is everything that's wrong with the way businesses are run, the way media is run, the way we treat art, the way we treat humanities in this country. It's like it's an example of like 90 different things that's fucking wrong with the way that we do things.
And it feels like I'm watching Game of Thrones where I'm just like, is he going to get punished yet? You know, it's real Joffrey vibes.
It's real Joffrey. It's like,
I'm
man, fucking season 4 needs to get here.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's season 3 when he dies. Wow. Spoilers for Game of Thrones.
Spoilers for Game of Thrones. Should we thank some more producers?
Probably.
All right. Big old thank you to tell your wife how many Patreon subscriptions you have before you agree to buy a house. Thank you.
Do it.
Thank you to musical guest Luda Christmas Children's Choir.
Thank you.
That's gonna take me a while to get used to. Thank you to No One Can Hear You Screaming Space McNulty.
Thank you.
Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pete for Pagel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Numenal Ultra Microscopic Silica Volcanoconiosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ed Nug.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sorry Cop, world's most laughable centrist.
Hey, thanks.
Hey.
All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Steven.
Thank
you
you
to all the nurses in the Einstein Neonatal ICU. We did it. We made it through 2023.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Thank
you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank
you to the 2B Terror Bunny. Says the strikes may be over, but egg David Zaslav for fun and profit.
Thank you.
Just talking about that. Thank you to these 7 Bs.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
You guys keep making me sing. Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Thank you.
Thank you to Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you to Why Don't You Take a Flying Fuck at the Moon?
Thanks.
And thanks to your mom.
Thanks. Yeah, there's more people who are going to make you sing.
Oh, I know.
soon.
Now that I've said it, we're going to get like 5 of them.
Oh, yeah. Also, to neonatal, I forgot to change your name back, but I will next week. Neonatal, by the way, is ironically the button on the top of every baby's head. So, just a little insight.
Oh yeah.
Into that patron.
Sure.
Giving us a little inside info about babies.
Speaking of insight, Dave,
yeah,
do you have any insight into a movie that maybe deserves more hype?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I do. I totally do. Sorry, I didn't think I did, and then I realized I totally did.
Then fucking push some air through your lips and tell us about it, Dave. What a treat. 2024, first movie that deserves more hype.
Yep, and this is coming out this month. This is coming out January 12th, limited in theaters. This is also Chile's submission for international feature this year for the Oscars. It's called The Settlers. It's not fun.
No.
It is not. We're not going to have fun. It's not like the Goat movie. This looks bleak as shit. It takes place about it's a Western. I think it takes place in Chile, and it is about the fucking massacre of a bunch of Native Americans. A historic event that I should really know the name of before talking about something that like happened in Chile and no one fucking talks about. It is a Western that follows like a few people, including one Native American, as they're going on this, I guess, journey. They're exploring and just doing atrocities. The reviews very much point out that it's like, not only is it about this group of people who don't trust each other, who are doing terrible things, but they also they don't get closer doing it. Like the quote from this review for Variety, where the bonds of at least companionship might be expected to form. Instead, we get further mistrust and betrayal amid bouts of grotesque barbarity that allow Bill, which is the main character, or no, a side character, to enlarge his trophy collection, a grisly string of severed human ears. So yeah, sounds fucking brutal. It's a first-time director. It's apparently gorgeous, like the cinematography is gorgeous, but it is just like a kind of a punishing look at this time and this awful thing that happened.
I'm really into this. I got big The Nightingale vibes from this.
Yep, the Pinochet coup. Sorry,
coup.
Wait,
coup.
no,
that's not what this is about.
No, that's not it. Sorry, I'm just going through.
Yeah, this is about this. It's about the genocide of the Selknam people who lived in Tierra
there it is.
In Tierra del Fuego, and that's what he's doing. You remember when we covered Quigley Down Under a while ago, Dave? You remember the premise of Quigley Down Under was Alan Rickman was hiring sharpshooters to come and shoot all of the natives off of his land. Right. That's the premise of this movie.
Got it.
That's what the main character is doing.
Yeah, you just mentioned Nightingale, right? Mm-hmm. That's very similar tone, where it's like, this is a very good movie that I'll only watch once. A very good movie about colonialism and imperialism that is punishing and gut-wrenching, and you'll never want to see it again. That's The Nightingale. Exactly. This movie looks like that, but they do say that most of the violence is off-screen, or at least they show a lot of restraint. They leave you... What the little snippets you have here from the reviews seem to suggest that they do more of the impressionistic violence rather than showing you graphic gore, which was a big part of why The Nightingale was so difficult to get through. Yeah, but it does look like, even from the trailer, it looks amazing. Like there are so many shots in the trailer that just look like incredible single still frames that you would hang on your wall. It's all this bleak landscape. And there's one sequence that they show a bunch in the trailer, and in the little review write-ups, we know that this is a pretty significant sequence in the film, but it all takes place in mist, and it's supposed to be this huge massacre, but we don't get to see it because it's all in this misty forest that's really oppressive, and we see a lot of those shots in the trailer, and it looks so good. Yeah. The quote, "The brutality is rarely graphic, but so evocative that the weight of it infects even the film's slower, ostensibly more peaceful passages with heavy dread." So, like, it is, very much about violence without showing much, which actually reminds me of The Zone of Interest a little bit as well, where it's clearly going to be this very beautiful film about a horrific act that is not trying to shock you. It's not trying to be like, look how shocking our scenes are. It's more of just, it's more about the horrificness without having to like actually show a lot of it, which I appreciate, because I would argue that if you're a good filmmaker, you don't have to show it. Yeah. And so this is one of those cases where it's kind of like a flex, where it's like, we're going to make your we're going to put your guts in a knot at this violence without actually showing you the violence. And so, yeah, hard sell, very hard sell. It looks like a good bleak Western. If you're into ghost Westerns or real nihilistic Western. Yeah. Or like real nihilistic Westerns, which I guess are the same thing. You'll probably be into this. Like, if you're you probably be into this if you're into those kind of movies. But just from a filmmaking standpoint, it looks amazing. The shots look incredible. It's also only 90 minutes. It's, again, a first-time director, which is kind of amazing because right away I'm like, shit, I can't wait to see their next things then if this is what they're opening with.
Yeah.
That's kind of incredible. So, yeah, The Settlers.
Check it out.
Put
check
it
out
on
the trailer.
Your list of bleak things. Yeah, check out the
if you
trailer
want to
at
get
least.
bummed out, watch that trailer and then decide if you'd like to add that to your Rolodex of depressing truths about the world.
It's hard, man, because without giving away too much, I watched The Zone of Interest.
Oh, yeah.
That's a movie where maybe this might be because what it's about is a lot more like I've been able, I learned about the Holocaust in second grade. I known about it for longer, so like maybe it's still gut wrenching, but in I don't want to say a more abstract way. Like, you know what I'm getting at here, which is like I was watching that and I'm like, damn, this is really good, and it didn't leave me feeling like
you've already
disturbed because I already
reckoned,
processed the things.
Right, you've already reckoned with it. We've already, like, I saw Shoah and Schindler's List in school.
Exactly. I've already processed the atrocities there, so it was just like a different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it feels like maybe not the same, just because I have an inkling of what happened here.
Right. It's,
yeah,
it's called The Settlers. I assume it's not dissimilar from what happened in America. And like I said, I just compared it to what happened in Australia. So it's like, this is a thing that that had happened around the world. So. Yeah.
So this is probably a very good movie.
Yes.
About that very terrible
thing.
So
shitty things that people do. Anyway.
Watch it with the goat film. Watch it back to back.
Pair it with the goat
Obviously,
film.
Start with the goat film, and then do the Settlers.
Go to bed with The Settlers.
Yeah, exactly. And then just have that in your dreams. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, we provide a good service for people, Dave.
And
that's a sode.
That's a sode, folks.
Oh man, first sode of 2024, Dave.
It was a good sode.
It was a good sode. It's been so long, I forget which one of us says words first. Is it you?
What we usually do is we say thank you so much for being on the show.
First.
Yep, and then they give their plug, and I expertly transition into our plug and say, like, we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefully unemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed, gamefully unemployed. On Patreon, we have exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, Spiel Boys. We watch movies every Friday night. That's the night when this comes out. We watch that with patrons.
Probably not be watching The Settlers.
No, probably not. But we watch fun things. We usually watch fun or weird or bad things. Sometimes they're bad.
We watch a lot of trash. We watch a lot of popcorn movies.
Right. It's friends sitting around talking over movies. And so if you want to be part of that, you should join our Patreon. And then we also have like custom We Just Watched episodes, custom podcasts on bigger tiers, and a whole Discord community. Check it out.
A vibrant, lovely, supportive, awesome Discord community. So definitely check that out. We also have a store. Head over to GameFullyUnemployed.com. You'll find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of things. So check that out. Settle your peepers onto that.
Oh, yeah. Settlers tie-in.
Violently click that link.
And
that's it.
That's it. Fucking
God.
Bye. Goodbye.
What a plug, Dave.
What a plug. We're great at this.
We're so good. 2024.
Woo! New us.
I'm in my second act.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our channel artwork is produced by Michael Vincent Bramley. You can find more of his artwork at instagram.com/mvbramleyart. Our episode artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at Justin T. Brown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.